Hi everyone, this is Alexander Carlos for a new show of the Alexander News Show for July 19, 2021 on a beautiful Monday from Miami, Florida, USA. And we're going to discuss more of the Surfside condo collapse. It's a tragic accident, tragic disaster. And I also want to discuss, I've got some news, some new details that came out in the press. And by the way, everything that I am going to discuss is from other news agencies. It's not something that I'm making up from my mind. Just want to throw that out there. I also want to make sure, and I want to throw this out there as well, that I'm going to discuss that there's a couple of individuals that or entities that the news agencies are putting some blame on, and I might throw some blame at them as well. Everyone is innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. Okay, I just want to mention that, and I want to throw that out there because unlike a lot of news entities out there or talk shows, I don't like to accuse someone without any unless there's real evidence. Okay. So anyway, I don't like to accuse Mr. Ross Brito straight up like, hey, Mr. Brito, it's your 100% fault that give me 1 second. I am going to play another video. Give me 1 quick second. I've got a technical glitch here. Hold on 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I had a little bit of a technical glitch, so I had to break away. By the way, this is the first time I do something like that where I have to play a 30-second video. I'm still new to doing this show. I had a little distraction there for a second. So what I was mentioning, and I'm sorry I had to break away. I have one person. I don't have a big audience, but anyway. So everyone in this country, in the United States of America, what makes this country such a great country is we're all innocent till proven guilty. So, and I don't want to. Everything that I'm going to mention here doesn't come from my mind. It's from other news agencies, okay, and other news entities that have been around for many years. So, do I have clear fact? Strong evidence that Mr. Rosendo Brito is 100% responsible for the over 100 plus individuals that have died in the Surfside building collapse? No, I don't. I mean, I don't have the evidence. Look, my hands are empty. It's what the news agencies have reported. Of course, his name is being implicated. Definitely. Surfside, the town of Surfside is being implicated. It's my theory that Surfside is negligent. It's my belief. And yes, I'm saying my belief that they're negligent. They're more negligent, in my opinion, than the board, the condominium association of Surfside. But anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. There is a new condo building, and I'm going to discuss that here in my hometown of HIALEAH, Florida. Los Arboles. Is that? I want to make sure that I get this correct. They are in 1900 West 68th Street. I want to make sure I throw the address correctly. I spoke to a condo owner. I cannot verify his story. So I want to make sure I throw that out there because, I don't want to get sued. I cannot verify the man's story. I didn't put him on camera. I did the video. It's on my YouTube channel. Look it up. It's 19 minutes long. His story, let me tell you, matches what I found. If you go through the entire video, you will see exactly what he's saying. According to Mr. Bob, the building association, condo association, the president and the vice president, the two women, do not spend a penny on the building, on the maintenance of the building. The building, when I went through an entire walkthrough of it, yes, I might have trespassed. Okay, go ahead and arrest me. He let me go in, by the way. Mr. Bob let me get into the building. He said, go ahead. I live here. You're allowed to come in. So I guess technically I was allowed to get in. I videotaped cracks. The floor had cracks. I'm not going to let out the beams. If you want to, you can't be a lazy ass. Excuse my French. Go on in my video and look at what I basically videotaped. So I want to give you the exact name. It's called Los Arboles. What a weird name for a building, by the way. It's 46 years old. And I'm going to show you some of the cracks here on the video. I'm actually going to show you, as a matter of fact, I might as well get to it right now as I'm talking about it. Let me see if I can get to it. I'm still trying to manage this real quick here. Let me see if I can show you the building, Los Arboles. All right, let me see if I can get it here. All right, give me a second. So this building, you cannot tell me that the Chaplin Towers were in worse shape than this building. This building supposedly passed a 40-year inspection, recertification inspection 6 years ago by the city of HIALEAH. The city of HIALEAH, by the way, I have a friend of mine's. I'm not going to mention who he works for. He works for a government entity as an inspector. That's as far as I'll go. And he told me that the city of HIALEAH is a joke as far as their code enforcement department. I just want to mention that. And according to Bob, I'm going to show you something. This is very important. This is extremely important. I want to show you something real quick here. Bear with me, because this is very important. I'm going to get to the whole Chaplin Towers real quick. And I want you to hear and listen to Mrs. Mayor Daniela Cala, which, by the way, I'm going to discuss her real quick. Let me see if I can show you. Here, I'm going to show you Los Arboles. So I'm going to break away from the screen for a minute, and I'm going to show you the building. All right, that's the condo building. All right, so let me try to show you. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the deficiencies that I found in the building. Okay, I'm going to break away from the screen. So this building that I found, has the city of HIALEAH Building and Zoning Department been to this building? That's the question I'm asking. I don't know if, knowing me, I'm going to have to contact the city of HIALEAH, and I'm going to have to make it known that they need to go to this building. Personally, I'm going to tell you right now, if you gave me a condo at this building, let me break away real quick. I wouldn't take it. It's worth $0. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly why I'm telling you why it's worth nothing. Nada. Let me break away and let me show you the pictures. It's like a screenshot of the video. But let me show you. The last one that I showed you is of the floor, the hallway. That's a huge crack on the floor. That goes about a half an inch deep. Let me show you the other one. The one that with the white, that's a huge crack. Goes about a half an inch deep. Let me show you this one again. That's a crack right down the wall, right down in the middle of the wall of a column. And there's plenty of that throughout the entire building. Plus the building has, I believe, mold, which is a big problem. Plenty of mold. You will notice that in the video. In the video, you'll notice plenty of mold. By the way, they resort to quick fixes. Bob mentioned that the president and the vice president, 2 women, instead of getting the money, I'll just mention the condo board. They are supposed to get the monthly maintenance fees and get part of that money and invest it into fixing the Los Arboles building, the structural walls when they break, and maintaining the building. They're supposed to do the upkeeps, I guess. And I'm not a construction expert. Please. I know nothing about construction. I mean, I know just a tidbit. Enough to no me pueden meter un cuento. Oh yeah, I'll be doing some Spanish. I'll be doing a bilingual show. But anyways, getting back to this. So Bob was saying they used the money and they invested in their other houses outside of the building. That's what they do. You can hear Bob's story in the video. Again, you can't be lazy. You have to go into my YouTube channel. I posted it up in the beginning of the video. The first 5 to 6 minutes, you will hear Bob speaking. I didn't put him in video because I wanted to protect his identity. He's an elderly man. He's got to be in his 70s. But he looked and he sounded a little sharp. I can't verify his story. Now, will I contact the condo to see what's going on? Yeah, I would like to contact the condo, and I will in due time. But I would like to contact the city of HIALEAH. I tried to get in contact with one of the council members, De La Rosa. Mr. Oscar De La Rosa. Mr. Oscar De La Rosa hasn't responded back to me. I'm going to tell you something right now. The Chaplin Towers that collapsed in Surfside had its issues. I have never visited the Chaplin Towers. I visited this building. But you can't tell me, by the way, the Chaplin Towers was only 40 years old. This building is 46 years old. You can't tell me the Chaplin Towers were in much worse shape than this freaking building. By the way, this is a much bigger building. Go on the video. You will see. I went through there and I walked the entire building, and I have a lot of footage of it. It is in bad shape. And it's just ironic that that's the first building of a bunch of buildings that I visited on that particular day. It was last week on the 11th on a Sunday. Well, while you are at the beach enjoying yourself, while you're at Disney World enjoying yourself visiting Mickey Mouse, while you are in Vegas gambling your life away, I was out there hustling and bustling, looking for buildings that were in bad shape. I ended up finding, and I ran into this one. Just out of nowhere, I just found this one. And it just, I had a field day. I just went in there. I ran into this dude. It was just handed to me by God. And it's out there. It's on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it out there to the city of HIALEAH so they can go out there. So you see, when you go in the entrance, I didn't put pictures of it. I don't believe I did. No, I don't know if I did. Let me see if I have the right. Let me see if I. No, that's from the Chaplin. That's from the Chaplin Towers. And I'm so sorry, but it's on the YouTube channel. There are these temporary metal columns that are holding a huge part of a building. When you go in the entrance, that's the most dangerous part. I didn't put it on here because I couldn't upload a whole bunch of pictures. That's very time consuming. I ended up uploading just certain pics. You got to see it. According to Bob, a dump truck, hit and destroyed that part of the building. And it happened 4 months ago. And the city of HIALEAH still has not gone to see it. And you're still haven't even approved permits. It's just something that the CONDO Association just went ahead and put these temporary, small, skinny metal columns to hold an entire building. It includes like 2 balconies. It's a dangerous situation. You got to go into. I don't know if I can show you on the phone. It's kind of hard. Let me see if I can show you on the phone, my YouTube channel. But yeah, it's a pretty. Let me see if I can show you. I'd like to show you. Let me see if I can show you. And this is Let me see if I can show you real quick here.
This is something that one of the trucks from the garbage place, that goes like this.
Yeah.
He hit
No, I know.
Okay, you see it right here?
Nothing. But the only thing is,
but that's dangerous. It shouldn't be like that.
I don't know if you can see it.
They put it like that. They're supposed to fix it already, but we waited for the.
How long ago did that happen?
That's like 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh my God!
The city of Miami.
You mean
HIALEAH?
You mean HIALEAH, the city the Banana Republic?
It's a Banana Republic.
That's the video.
By the Cubans.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Like
this is a dangerous
this is
recipe for disaster.
Yeah, like 48 years old, 46, 40.
Like I said, I haven't put you yet, but we're next to the Palmetto Expressway. This is Northwest 122nd Street, which is.
I don't know if you can see it.
This is the Pet Supermarket Shopping Center. Right. I'm not going to put you on camera. You're speaking.
No.
I'm just going to call you Bob. I'm going to call you Bob.
No problem.
Bob, this building, you live here?
Yeah, I've been here for 34 years already. But I think I'm around here for sure.
But you're saying the people is this like people own condominiums here?
Yeah, all this is
This is Bob.
Mostly
I don't think he's lying.
And besides that,
either he's lying or he's got Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah.
The money that they collect, instead of put it on the condominium, they put it in the pocket and they fix the houses that they have it outside this place.
Well,
I can't verify that story.
So,
but it might be true.
Thank you for that information. Like I said, your name. I'm not going to give your name. You're not going to come out on camera. You haven't come out on camera because
the only thing
you notice I haven't filmed you. Have I filmed you? No, because
no, I know.
I thank you. I thank you very much.
You look at the columns. That's a recipe for disaster.
The address is it's missing a 0. Los Arboles condominiums. This is owned by different individuals. Condominiums. It's 1900 West 68th Street. As I mentioned, you have the Palmetto Expressway, the exit west of this building. It's 68th Street, West 68th Street, Northwest 122nd. And you have the shopping center, Pet Supermarket. I was talking to a condominium owner, which I'm not going to disclose his identity. I'm just going to name him Bob. He mentioned that basically that the condominium association, and he just told me off camera, the president and the vice president, the people, those two ladies that run Los Arboles, okay? They are the ones that are managing the condominium association. They get the money along with the rest of the board, and they mismanage the money. They spend it, and they get that money, and instead of putting the money and investing it into fixing this condominium, and by the way, you can see the structural. He said, the gentleman I was talking to said a truck damaged this 4 months ago. Look at this, and this shouldn't be like this. The city of HIALEAH, he's saying that the city of HIALEAH. This happened 4 months ago. He's waiting for the city of HIALEAH to approve the permits to fix this. and it's still like this. All right, so here.
All right.
The fourth floor. This is by the.
All right. So there you go. I just want to. This is live, by the way. So yeah. There you see. That's a video I shot. There you go. There you see. That's a recipe for disaster. That's the biggest issue that I found. But then everything else that you see inside the building, I mean, that's outside. And that's a recipe for disaster. I mean, that was 4 months ago. And I bet you that if I go by there today, right now, it's still like that. And I contacted Oscar De La Rosa. He's a council member for the city of HIALEAH. He is the son of Esteban Bovo, who's running for mayor. He's actually the stepson. He's running for the mayor of city of HIALEAH. And anyway, yeah. Okay. They're telling me, okay. They're telling me they couldn't see anything. All right, let me go ahead and someone sent me, somebody told, okay, let me go ahead and let me do the camera. Let me do it again. Okay, thank you. I had a viewer that sent me a text that they couldn't see anything. Let me go ahead and do it again. So hold up the phone. Okay, hold on.
By the Cubans are the one who's taking care of everything like that. You know what I mean?
So this is how 48 years old, right?
Yeah, like 48 years old, 46, 40.
Like I said, I haven't put you yet, but we're next to the Palmetto Expressway. This is northwest 122nd Street, which is West 68th Street. This is the Pet Supermarket Shopping Center.
Right.
I'm not.
Sorry about that.
You're speaking.
No.
I'm just gonna call you Bob. I'm gonna call you Bob.
Okay, now, okay.
This building, you live here?
Yeah, I've been here for 34 years already.
And,
But I think around here.
but you're saying the people that, is this like people own condominiums here?
Yeah, all this is condominium, mostly it's rented already. And beside that, the people they are having the administration of the condominium.
Yeah.
The money that they collect, instead of putting it on the condominium, they put it in the pocket and they fixing houses that they have outside this place.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I thank you for that information. Like I said, your name, I'm not going to give your name. You're not going to come out on camera. You haven't come out on camera. Because
the only thing is,
you notice I haven't filmed you. Have I filmed you? No, because
no, I know.
I thank you. I thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is so I got the complete address because it's missing a zero. Los Arboles condominiums. This is owned by different individuals. Condominiums. It's 1900 West 68th Street. As I mentioned, you have the Palmetto Expressway, the exit west of this building. It's 68th Street, West 68th Street, Northwest 122nd. And you have the shopping center, Pet Supermarket. And I was talking to a condominium owner, which I'm not going to disclose his identity. I'm just going to name him Bob. He mentioned that basically that the condominium association, and he just told me off camera, the president and the vice president, the people that, those two ladies that run Los Arboles, okay? They are the ones that are managing the condominium association. They get the money along with the rest of the board, and they mismanage the money. They spend it, and they get that money, and instead of putting the money and investing it into fixing this condominium, and by the way, you can see the structural. He said, the gentleman I was talking to said a truck damaged this 4 months ago. Look at this. And this shouldn't be like this. The city of HIALEAH, he's saying that the city of HIALEAH, this happened 4 months ago. He's waiting for the city of HIALEAH to approve the permits to fix this. And it's still like this. All right, so here, again, we're in the
All right. I thank you to that, I thank that viewer for sending me a text. I thank you for letting me know. I'm still new at doing this. Anyway, I thank you for letting me know because I'm not I'm not like a genius at. I'm still learning how to do this. But anyway, I thank you for letting me know, and I'm putting the phone correctly. So anyways, so what I'm trying to say is, where's the city of HIALEAH? Where's code enforcement? You have code enforcement officers. The regular ones that look for graffiti, blah, 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 abandoned buildings, trash in the streets. You have those. And then you have the ones that are building inspectors. Where are those? How come, according to Bob, and again, I can't verify his story, how come they have not, if they have, number one, have they been to the building? Have they seen that? And if they have, how come they have taken 4 months to approve the permits to fix this? That is a recipe for disaster. How long, how much more longer can the entire building, I mean, the weight of that concrete, you saw it. And if you want to see it again, you got to go to my YouTube channel and you can see it again. The entire balcony, the weight can hold those little skinny metal columns. How long much more can that hold up, the weight? I can tell you one thing, it will not last much longer. And I'm going to tell you something else. And I will tell you this. The Chaplin Towers were not in worse shape than this building. This building, I can tell you right now, is in worse shape than the Chaplin Towers. And I'm going to tell you something about this board. I can't verify Bob's story, but I'm going to tell you something. When I went into this board, into this building, and I videotaped the structural deficiencies that this building has, okay? When I went inside this building, and you see what you just saw on the video, plus the mold, because all that black that's around the entire building, because most of the building has black on the walls, and it has to be mold. And if it's not mold, please tell me what else it is. What else is that black substance? Okay, and then you see the cracks in different parts of the walls of that building. Now, it's either outside and it's just there, just a crack. It's just there in the outside of the wall, or it's a bigger problem and it goes more inside. And then you see the rust, the corrosion that is basically being created, and you see it in the walls. And then you see the cracks along the ceiling. And then you see the water coming down from the ceilings. I mean, I see all of that, and it's on the video. I captured all of that in the video. And according to Bob, the condo association doesn't invest a penny, and you got condo owners, people that pay the association fee. And it's a lot of condos. That's a huge building. Where does all that money go? The association gets it. They're supposed to keep up with the building. It's called maintenance. Well, according to Bob, the money isn't going there. It's going to the president, which is a lady, and the vice president, which is another lady. They use it, and the rest of the board, condo board, they go and they use it outside of that building for their other houses. He could be crazy. He could have Alzheimer's. He could be lying, or maybe he's telling the truth. But according to him, when you go in there and you see the video, and you can see it for yourself, and I'm telling you, I can see, and you can go to that building and you can see for yourself. I can tell you right now, it seems like he's telling you the truth. It seems like he's telling the truth. And it's in pretty bad shape. Give me 1 second here. I have to charge something here. Yeah, forgive me for a second. Bob's story seems to be legit. Bob's story seems to be legit. And I visited a few other buildings, and there were some buildings that were in very good shape, and there were other buildings that were in bad shape. I visited other buildings in the city of Hialeah, and I went to other buildings in Miami and unincorporated Miami-Dade. There was another building that looked like it was in pretty bad shape, but, you know, I don't believe that it was sufficient enough for me to go in there and investigate it. I think I visited like 6 or 7 buildings. Los Arboles, I went back. Los Arboles was the one building. Because I'm going to tell you, I visited that building and I spoke to Bob, and then I left. I came back 2 hours later, and that's when I did the videotaping. I wanted to wait until a little later. But anyway, I'm going to follow up. I'm going to contact the city of Hialeah. That's what I'm going to do first before I contact that board. And I'm going to get the records to see how many inspections have been done to that building. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to find out how many inspections have been done, including the 40-year recertification. And I'm going to get on the city of Hialeah's ass. All right, enough about that. Enough about that. We're gonna move on. Oh, let's talk about Cuba real quick before I talk about Surfside. Just real quick, I just want to discuss real quick about, we're 32 minutes into the show. Okay, it's 1:19. I'm going to talk real quick about Cuba and communism. Yeah, the people are fed up. The people are fed up. But I want to mention something very quick. Yes, there's an uprising in Cuba. The only way the communist regime is going to fall, I hate to tell you this, is number one, is that there is a U.S. military intervention, which will not happen. Ronald Reagan, if you remember, Ronald Reagan, one of the greatest presidents in our history, at least in my lifetime. I'm 44 years old. Ronald Reagan is one of the greatest. Ronald Reagan is one of the greatest presidents. All right, I'm getting a text. Well, thank you very much from one of the listeners, or one of the viewers. I thank you very much for your support. Ronald Reagan, Republican president, one of the greatest presidents ever. He was the most Cuban-friendly president ever. Trump comes in number 2. Okay? And I'm a Trump supporter. But I'm going to tell you, it's a fact. Reagan, Cuban-friendly president ever. And he didn't even move a finger and make an attempt to invade Cuba. Okay? What makes you think that Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, who has Alzheimer's disease symptoms, is going to move a finger and invade Cuba? It will not happen. If we had Donald Trump as president right now, there might be a chance. Maybe. The only way there might be an intervention is if they started an exodus of Cubans, like a Mario Boatlift type thing of 1980. And that is not going to happen, because they know that if they do that, the regime, it's over. They know better than that to do that. So that's not going to happen. Or if there's going to be like a bloodbath, and that hasn't happened. I know for sure there hasn't been a bloodbath. There might have been a few deaths, and there might be some people, a lot of protesters in jail, but that's it. There's not going to be no U.S. military intervention. Reagan didn't do it. Trump didn't do it. No Democrat president is going to do it. I'm sorry to tell you. Democrat presidents are not friends of the Cuban people. Oh, did I say that? That's the truth. If Biden was a true friend of the Cuban people, he would have come down here and he would have here to Miami and he would have held a press conference. Democrats always fail for the Cuban people. They always fail. They never seize the moment. If it was Trump in power, Trump would have been here in a heartbeat and he would have held a press conference in support of the Cuban people. That's a fact. Now, the only way it's going to happen is if maybe we drop maybe 10,000 guns in Guantanamo Bay and we give it to the protesters, young men over there, and let them get the guns and let them fight the military. That might be what needs to happen. Have a little civil war, and then, those young protesters need to get the guns. And if we do it for Ukraine, why not do it for the Cuban protesters? Let them get the guns and let them take up arms and let them fight the government. They don't have guns. They don't have knives. That's something that could be done. But Biden will not do that. Biden's not willing to do that. So, yeah. And you know what? I'm all for protesting. But you have no right to block the Palmetto Expressway. You have no right to block any streets. These Cubans that don't work, that did this last week, they have no jobs. They don't work. I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, you blocked the Palmetto Expressway. You caused havoc. Shame on the Miami-Dade Police Department. Shame on the Highway Patrol for allowing this to happen, for allowing the Okeechobee Road part of it to be shut down. You can't allow this to happen. What applies to Black Lives Matter, what applies to Antifa thugs, also has to apply to the Cubans. Equal justice. Everything has to apply to everybody. Ron DeSantis' law has to apply to everybody. Okay? That's important. It has to be understood. We as a society, it has to apply. So I'm all for protesting, but you can't shut down the Palmetto Expressway. Why didn't the Miami-Dade Police Department put these protesters in a paddy wagon and take them away? Why did you allow them to just protest an entire day? Anyway, this is a banana republic that we live in. By the way, Pepe Diaz got COVID-19. The suck-ass poser. I wish you well, Mr. Pepe Diaz. Mr. Broken Streets. You notice that when I put out that video of embarrassing the suck-ass poser, Mr. Suck-ass poser, Mr. Broken Streets. He's the commissioner of Miami-Dade County, which stretches from like Sweetwater, Southwest 8th Street to the Miami-Dade County Broward line, and from like the Palmetto Expressway all the way to Monroe County, Dade County line. Yeah, he's got streets that are broken in Medley and in Doral, and he's like the chairman. And because he's the chairman of the board of Miami-Dade County, he feels that he has a right to be at all the press conferences of Surfside. Like, I'm the chairman, and so now there's a rumor going that he is going to run for mayor of Sweetwater, and it's Bermudez now is going to take his spot. Bermudez, mayor of Doral, is going to run for his seat. It's like it never ends. It never ends. It's recycled. It's like you never get a fresh face. Maybe one of you viewers can run for a seat. Let me know if you're interested. And I'll get you one of these developers to fund your campaign. And you can run. It's a recycle. It just keeps going and going and going and going. It's the old garbage. We don't get anybody new to run for a political seat in this freaking town. Thank God I'm doing this freaking Alexander News show, and it's going to continue growing. By the way, you can follow the show on Instagram, Alexander News Show. Also Twitter, Alexander News SH. And you can call or text to the show, 786-652-7240. Email the show, alexandernewsshow@gmail.com. If you want to comment, you have a question, you can go ahead. If you have an insult, I'm okay for the insult as well. It's okay, it's fine. As long as it's productive. By the way, donate. You can donate to the show. Cash App. Download it. Cash Alexander News Show. The money that you donate will help me improve the show and be able to do more videos. And it's going to be reinvested into the show. I have never done that before. Everything is self-funded. I've been able to self-fund my show. Okay? But now I am doing the Cash App feature. Okay? It's not going to be for me to go and have a big steak at a Morden Steakhouse. The money that you donate, it's not going to go for that. It's going to go for the show, to maybe go and buy a new camera so I can take better videos of a area of town of Miami-Dade County that's in very bad shape so that I can expose it and embarrass the political figure that represents that area, mainly a commissioner of Miami-Dade County. For example, Hardiman, the shyster, Keon Hardiman, who was a horrible city of Miami commissioner, and now he's a commissioner for the same district, but now a bigger area along the I-95 corridor. Of course, I can videotape, but I can always use a better camera, better video recorder. So, Monestheim as well. Those are like the two worst districts. Go into Higgins, Daniela Higgins. There's two Higgins. Their districts are in bad shape. And there's a lot of work. I mean, look, this is a local, state, and national show. I will talk national news, but we are focused on local stuff that the local media here doesn't give a crap about, doesn't give a shit about. And I can say bad words. That's what's great about this. Until the FCC decides to regulate my show and say you can't say bad words, or YouTube decides to say you can't say shit. Okay, then I guess I can't say it. But anyways, I'm grateful to God because I can self-fund my show. But yeah, Cash App is there. You can download it. So anyways, let's move on. We're going to discuss some new things about the Champlain Towers. Yeah, Mr. Pepe Diaz has got COVID-19. I wish you well, Pepe Diaz. I don't wish any harm upon you. I just think you suck as a political figure. You suck ass as a political figure. You should retire. You're a nice guy as a family man. But, you know, you're just a rotten, stinking political figure. And I hope this gets to you. Retire. Once your term ends, don't even run for Sweetwater mayor. Because if you do, I'm going to embarrass you. Okay, I'm going to embarrass you with a ton of videos that I've got of you. Okay, and I will. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. You can't sue me because it's all facts. You just like to go in front of a camera and you like to be like, I'm Pepe Diaz, I'm the chairman of the board. You're just a suck ass. That's what you are. But you're a nice guy. In the family atmosphere, you might be, you sound like a nice guy, you know. Just stay retired, bro. That's it. So let's discuss Mr. Ross Brito. I got a picture of this guy. You see him here? Okay. That's him right there. He's innocent until he's proven guilty in a court of law. Let me make that very clear. So I've got some notes. The latest figures, by the way, the latest figures. And I want to make this very clear. Let me see if I can get. Let me let you hear Mrs. Daniela Cava. This is very sad. calling off the search and rescue efforts and putting it into a recovery operation.
Six people still unaccounted for. Officials say there is little chance of
Okay, you'll hear the report.
Search crews will.
I'll just let you hear the news.
Listening devices and dogs when sifting through the rubble. 54 people have already been confirmed.
This was like 2 weeks ago.
Or Podesta reports.
A moment of silence and prayer yesterday evening at the site of the Champlain Towers building collapse in Surfside, Florida. First responders lined the rubble in a poignant display of the effort that went into searching for survivors. Their mission has now shifted.
It is with deep, profound sadness that this afternoon I'm able to share that we made the extremely difficult decision to transition from Operation Search and Rescue to recovery.
Officials say the number of confirmed deaths.
Efforts there shift.
All right, you heard Mrs. Daniela Cava, and it's very sad. So the latest figures are 97 people are dead. Over 130. It's more like 130 people have died, or more or less. I'm not giving you an exact number. It's a sad tragedy. It's the biggest building collapse in the history of the United States. And in my last show, I gave you some reasons, and you can go back to the last show I did 2 weeks ago, as to why, and some theories as to why I think that building collapsed. One of them was the sand caving in might have caused the building to have collapsed. I'm not going to get into those details, but that's one theory. And that doesn't come from me. That comes from other news agencies and engineers and experts. And by the way, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see different videos of articles that I posted in there that discusses reasons why the building might have collapsed. You just got to go into my YouTube channel, Alexander News Show, and you can see the different videos I have posted of the Surfside building collapse. And by the way, I want to ask, please, for a big favor, please like this video, like it, follow it, share it. It's very important. Hit the bell for notifications, subscribe to my channel. It's important. I asked for this, for my channel to grow and for YouTube to recognize it. Because the more likes I get for all my videos, especially for this streaming right now, this live show, and you share it and you follow it and you let the world know, YouTube's going to recognize it and they're going to show it to everybody else around not only Miami in the United States, but around the entire world. So I've got some notes here, and I'm going to get to it real quick. So you saw Mr. Rosendo Brito. Okay, so I've got some quick notes here. I'm going to mention he is a former building inspector. He denied he ever received the damning 2018 private engineering study that uncovered major structural damage at the Florida condo tower that collapsed last week, which obviously that was a few weeks back, according to a report. Board members of the Champlain Towers, and I'm not going to read to you an entire script because you're all going to go. Again, I'm just going to read quick notes before the show ends. I'm going to read to you some major, just quick pointers of some new news that happened. So I'm reading to you the first part. Board members of the Champlain Towers South Condo in the town of Surfside reportedly held a meeting on November 15, 2018, during which the report by engineer Frank Morabito was discussed. This is an engineering firm that the town of Surfside hired back in 2018, and it didn't complete. This firm, Morabito Engineers, did an entire structural inspection study of the entire building back in 2018. In it, Morabito flagged major structural damage caused by a leaky pool above the building's parking garage, though it was not immediately clear if it was a major error, could have been contributed to the deadly partial collapse. This is reported by the Miami Herald, who, by the way, is a communist newspaper. A board member, CONDO board member by the name of Mrs. HIALEAH, okay, also introduced the building inspector at the meeting. The building inspector is Rosendo Brito. At the meeting, with the 5 of the 7 board members, along with the property manager, Alexandria Santa Maria, CONDO board lawyer, Marilyn Perez, and some residents, it added. Okay, this is a big meeting. I'm just going to read to you some quick notes. Okay, so there was so basically, a former building inspector, Ross Brito, denied he ever received a report. Now again, he's innocent to proven guilty, but Mr. Brito, who you saw the picture of, denied that Morabito engineering firm did an entire study, okay, back in 2018 with some damning information from the building, showing that it uncovered major structural damage. Mr. Brito denied that he ever received the 2018 private engineering report. And then, of course, he attended the CONDO meeting. They had a CONDO meeting. The board had a CONDO meeting, okay? So this CONDO meeting, I just read to you, was attended by one of the CONDO board members, HIALEAH, CHOUELA, also introduced in Mr. Brito, the building inspector for Surfside at the time, which, by the way, he's not there anymore. He's not the building inspector. With 5 of the 7 board members, along with the property manager, Alexander Santa Maria, CONDO board lawyer, Marilyn Perez, and some residents. Okay. So the Miami Herald contacted Mr. Brito a while back. This was like 3 weeks ago. And Brito told the Herald on Saturday that he didn't recall receiving the report from HIALEAH. And that report is this is very important you know this, the Morabito report. Okay? Okay. He also provided cost estimates in the report, Morabito provided cost estimates which account to about $15 million. He also said he was unaware the town had received the report, which cited abundant cracking. The same one that you saw of Los Arboles condo, the one that you saw, and you can see in my YouTube channel. Same one. There's abundant cracking. Just got to go in that. You got to go there and see it. So anyways, so that's one of the notes. Let me see if I can. Inspector Ross Brito, who left his post last year, had reviewed the engineer's report after the CONDO board member, Mara HIALEAH, that's how you say your name, and I suck in saying people's names, forwarded him the report 2 days earlier. Again, this was 2018, according to the Miami Herald. But we do know issues with the Chaplin Towers South were flagged as early as October 2018, when an engineer documented cracks and distressed concrete. 1 month later, CONDO board minutes showed the building official for Surfside, Ross Brito, reviewed the engineer report and gave the impression that to the board that it appears that the building is in very good shape. So Mr. Brito said at the meeting, and even, check this out, newly released records show that the morning after attending the meeting, Brito sent an email to then town manager Guillermo Olmedo, Olmedillo, to say it went very well and that the response was very positive from everyone in the room. This is all from the Miami Herald. He basically told the town manager that he found the building to be in very good shape. Everything was perfect. That's what Brito said. You're going to tell me, so, check this out. Olmedo told the paper on Sunday that he didn't remember getting the email from Brito. Meanwhile, emails released by the town Sunday also show Brito dismissed concerns over possible damage to the Structure's foundation from a construction project in the area just 2 months after he reviewed the materials that described major structural damage in the tower's lower levels. I mentioned in my last show that everything happened in the very low part of the building. The warning signs were there. Everything points to, and is starting to point to, Mr. Ross Brito. Again, I'm going to mention this. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. But the investigation is going to point to Mr. Ross Brito. It's going to point to Mr. Ross Brito. It's going to point to the condo board. Morabito, I'm sorry to tell you this, Morabito, whatever how you say the name, they were just simply hired by the condo board to do an entire study of the entire building. And they found deficiencies, structural damage. They gave it to the condo board. They did their job. They left. The condo board, they called the town of Surfside. They told the town of Surfside, hey, listen, we got this report. We want to repair our building, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Brito, who was an official, an inspector for the time, at that meeting, the one that I told you about that was attended by some of the residents, condo owners, and the board members, and there was a lawyer and the condo manager, the property manager, everything, boom, $15 million. Long story short, which I already explained to you, Brito says, oh, it went well. He went back and he sent an email to the town manager. No, it went well. It's like that report that was done. Everything was like, let's just leave everything the way it was. Like, this is called negligence on the part of the condo board, because they should have continued to pursue and push the town of Surfside to follow through on getting the permits and getting approved for the permits. And they should have pushed the condo board, each residence to pay $80,000 each. More or less, that's the average. Each resident would have had to spend between $80,000 to $100,000 to come up with the $15 million to fund to fix the entire building of what Morabito recommended, so that this whole Surfside collapse would have never happened. And that's where the negligence comes in for the condo association, the entire board members that attended that meeting that day. And then you're talking about, that's where the negligence comes in, civil and perhaps even criminal. And then you have the town of Surfside, Brito. And I'm going to get to you real quick, Mr. Brito, because you got a little history. You got some skeletons in dealing with government from your days of the village of Surfside. And this came out in some news outlets. I don't even have to go into the notes. I already have it in my mind. Everything is memorized because I read it. For you to say You saw the report. You saw the report from Morabito. And Morabito, by the way, for anyone to say that Morabito is held negligent, for you to say that Morabito is going to be charged criminally, you're an asshole. Excuse me. Am I saying the word asshole? They did their job. Yeah, they were hired. They did the report. They got the hell out of there. That's it. There's no criminal investigation towards them. They're witnesses. Worse, at the very most, they're going to be witnesses. That's it. They're going to be implicated as witnesses. Negligence and criminal negligence and civil negligence is straight up the board. For not pushing to fix the freaking building. For not telling each condo owner, listen, we're going to have to assess $80,000 to $100,000 on each one of you people here that own the condo. I'm sorry, this is what's going on. They should have forced every single condo owner to attend a meeting, a follow-up meeting, maybe do 3-4 follow-up meetings in 2018, and told every single condo owner, listen, this is what's going on. We need to do this. This is urgent. Because if not, the building's going to collapse, according to this Morabito report. This is a life and death situation. But they didn't do that. The condo owners, the condo board members were like, let's just leave it alone. And the town of Surfside, Mr. Brito, he should have looked at the report and he should have been like, hey, this is big time. This is big. This is dangerous. And he should have done his freaking job. And I'm very sure he saw the structural damage and deficiencies of that building. And I'm pretty sure that Surfside sent another inspector. I'm pretty sure that Surfside has a couple of inspectors. They should have sent, I'm pretty sure that there were other people in the town of Surfside, government officials that knew that that building was in bad shape in 2018. Political figures. Including, I believe that the mayor at that time was Mayor DECAY. He was a mayor in 2018, DECAY. Don't worry, I'm going to do more shows of this. I'm not going to wait. This is going to be my number one, my top 3 issues. The building collapse of Surfside. I'm not going to let this go. And I'm going to mix it up with some new buildings that I'm going to discover around Miami-Dade County that are in bad shape. Los Arboles is one of them. But DECAY, I think that's his name. He was the mayor at the time. He must have known that that building was in bad shape. And Mr. Olmedo saying that I never received an email from Brito. You never received it, but you probably knew that that building was in bad shape, Mr. Olmedo. So there's got to be civil negligence and criminal negligence on the side of the town of Surfside. Surfside will not be a town anymore. It will be unincorporated in Miami-Dade County when it's all said and done, because the lawsuits that are going to be pouring in against the town of Surfside is going to be astronomical, that they're not going to have enough money to pay everybody. It's written on the wall. It's written on the wall. So, Olmedo, you didn't know? I need to get his number, and I need to call him, and I need to interview him. By the way, I'm working on an interview with currently the director of building and zoning for the town of Surfside. I'm setting that up, and that will be happening very soon. I also want to get a building expert, construction expert, on my show as well. I'm working on that too. And so that's my theory on what's going on. That's what happened And that's why the building collapsed. Could it be because the sand caved in? Could it be that because it was badly constructed 40 years ago? That could be also another reason why. We'll get to that. We'll have a show about that. In my last show, we talked a little bit about that. But that could be a little bit of the contributing factor. But the main contributing factors are what I just discussed right now. The negligence, civil and criminal, from the board, the association board, from Chaplin, and from the town of Surfside, and the people that work there, being lazy, not doing their jobs, knowing that there was a problem, they just turned a blind eye. And it's not only Brito, it's other people like Omito. And I'm not accusing you, Omito. I'm just thinking, you say you didn't receive an email. Maybe you did, and you want to act like you're a dumb person, a dumbass, and you're like, and you probably knew, because word spreads around. That's a small town. That's a very small town. That's why it's called the town of Surfside. Anyway, enough about that. I'm going to get back to that. And the mayor at the time, DECAY, who I have his phone number, by the way. I have his phone number. So back in 1997, Mr. Brito had connections to the 1997 building collapse in Miami Shores that killed 2 people. Do you know what that building collapse was? It was a dog track that was next to the I-95. Does anybody remember that dog track that collapsed? Mr. Brito used to work for the village of Miami Shores. He must be old. In that picture, he looks like he's in his 50s. This guy must be like 60-something years old. For real. Anyway, he worked for the Miami Shores Building Department. And he had his hand in... and he had something to do with the collapse that occurred in 1997 with that dog track that just collapsed and killed 2 people. He was the assistant director of building and zoning in Miami Shores when the Biscayne Kennel Club prematurely collapsed on workers during a demolition project, killing 2 brothers from Broward County. Charles Schwab of Coral Springs and William Schwab of Hollywood, and injuring 3 others. After the dog track incident, Brito told the Miami Herald that inspectors had visited the site 4 times, but that their responsibilities were limited to ensuring the job was on schedule and not that the workers were using proper procedures. What a coincidence. So this is not the first time that Brito was a part of a collapse. He already had an issue in 1997. He was an assistant director of building and zoning. It's a big position. He was in charge of inspectors. He was a part of this that happened in 1997. Did Surfside know of Brito having this issue in 1997? The town of Surfside? Did they do their homework in hiring Mr. Ross Brito? That's the question I'm asking the town of Surfside. The town manager, Omito. So I'm going to ask this question. Mr. Omito, who's no longer the town of Surfside manager, or DECAY. By the way, they're not there anymore. It's a new regime. Mr. Burkett, who's now the mayor, he comes out in the press conferences and he acts as like this innocent dude. He plays stupid. He became mayor a couple of years back. He knows more than he's letting out. I'm going to throw that out there. He knows more than he's letting out. And I believe in my heart and soul that all these Surfside goofballs that are politicians and officials know more than they're letting out. But hey, I'm going to go to the main source. I'm going to interview the building and zoning director. And I'm going to do some legwork. I'm going to wait till things die down. Let a couple of days pass. I ain't letting this die. This show is going to do its work. Because you see all the other news entities, Channel 7, Channel 10, they're not going to do this. The Jim DeFitis of the world, he's going to move on. But I'm not going to move on. And so Mr. Brito, he decided, the pressure was too much, and he decided to take a leave of absence. He works for a private building and zoning firm that Doral hires. The city of Doral hires. It's called CAP. They do all the building and zoning inspections for the city of Doral. So Brito, who works for CAP, doing all this under CAP for the city of Doral, decided to take a leave of absence because he was feeling the pressure right after this whole Surfside building collapse. And then all of a sudden, it looks like now CAP decided to give him the boot. See, Mr. Brito is damaged goods. Rosendo Brito is damaged goods. Mr. Brito, he's innocent until he's proven guilty. But the reality is, and the theory is, you are a part of 2 building collapses in the history of Miami-Dade County in the last 97, 2000, in the last 24 years, you have been a part of 2 building collapses. You're the one human being that's been a part of 2 building collapses in 2 different municipalities in Miami-Dade County. That's a title that you have and a responsibility that you have had. You are connected to that. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Alexander News Show, the show is winding down. I've got a lot more news to report, and I will be reporting on the Surfside building collapse. But of course, there's going to be a lot of other news that's going to be coming up. So that's why it's important that you hit the like button, you subscribe to my channel, that you follow this channel, that you share it, because the algorithms will move. YouTube's going to recognize it. And you, of course, by the way, go to my Twitter, Alexander News SH. Keep up with the show with me. I post on there almost every single day. Sometimes I take a break because it's too much. I want to mention something very quickly. Also, let me mention also Cash App. Cash Alexander News Show. Any donation, $1, even doesn't matter, 50 cents, whatever it is, whatever you can donate will help the show grow. Daniela Cava has been an extraordinary leader. And she's a Democrat. But hey, you know what? She's been great through this entire crisis. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has been awesome. And he's been great through this entire crisis. So that's all I can tell you. We discussed so many things in this show today. We are going through, my God, 1 hour and 15 minutes. And it is 2:02. I thank you for listening and watching the Alexander News Show. We will have more shows coming up. I would like to do another show later on this week. And I'm going to reboot the Alexander News Show podcast. Yes, the podcast. It's on most podcast platforms. I had an Alexander News Show. It started a couple of years back. It's on iHeartRadio podcast, but it's also on most podcast platforms. Just go into Google podcast, Alexander News Show. Go iHeartRadio. Boom. The main one is iHeartRadio, but you can go to Spotify as well. And there's a bunch of shows like this one, except that this one's now live stream, and I like to live stream. Anyway, please go to my last video that I posted, Los Arboles, and check that video out. And again, like the videos, share the channel, follow it. Please, I thank you for subscribe to the channel, and I thank you for watching. Thank you very much for your support. And for all of you that watch this channel, I thank you very much as well for watching. Have a great one. Have a great one and have a great day. Stay safe out there.